Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky community mourns the loss of a beloved first responder who had a passion for serving others. And Kentucky politicians share hopes and dreams for better days ahead in the Commonwealth at the 2021 SOAR Summit.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, good morning. It's almost 6:01 here on this Friday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you for joining us. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at your forecast. And Brandon, did you mention fog earlier? Because I don't remember if you did. And
I did.
I don't remember seeing any.
Well, there's not a lot here locally.
Oh, okay.
So other places that we're seeing some pretty dense fog in spots. So just be careful, especially around the Kentucky-Tennessee border. But yeah, there is some out there, not as much as we had a couple of days ago, but it's thick and dense in spots. But we're focusing rather on the cloud cover this morning. We're taking a look at that as we see it on the satellite and radar last few hours, starting to kind of pick up a little bit. Now you're seeing a little bit of green there. Could be a few sprinkles out there this morning. Could just be catching some of that fog, but we are seeing lots of rain off to our west there. That's the leading edge of that front that's going to work its way through tonight and cool us off and bring us the possibility for some stronger storms. 63 Wise right now, 68 Prestonsburg, Ashland, Moorhead, 69 now our hot spot over in Jackson, a pair of 66s in London and in Hazard across the state region. Look at those 70s already out toward Paducah there, 74, 71 Bowling Green, 72 at Owensboro. So the cooler air will get here. It's just a matter of when. Let's get your breakfast forecast underway this morning with the frosted weather weights, and we're going to continue to see cool, mild temperatures out there for the most part this morning. Not too bad. As we head to your almanac, the record is actually 83 for today at the National Weather Service office at Jackson. We're forecasting 82, but that's still, regardless, well above the average of 69. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Local law enforcement agencies are mourning the death of one of their own. 46-year-old Oliver Little died Wednesday after being hospitalized for COVID-19 since last month. Our Buddy Forbes has more about the impact he had on the communities he served.
Oliver Little always had big dreams.
As a kid, he wanted to become a police officer.
And a passion to answer the call to serve.
He was a servant. I mean, that's what Oliver was.
So he dedicated decades to doing just that, starting as an EMT and working his way to a career in law enforcement.
Not glamorous. It wasn't, it wasn't making the front line, headline of the paper, but it was Oliver.
Serving the people of Floyd County as a sheriff's deputy, but filling roles far beyond the badge.
He was literally like everybody's big brother, not only our big brother, but I would say the community's big brother as well.
A love he was taking on to his next journey as he transitioned to the Pikeville Police Department.
He always wanted a new adventure, but wherever he went, he found a home and he found family.
Until he was diagnosed with COVID-19 last month, never making it to his new position.
That kind of loss is terrible. It's a tragic event to lose an officer of his caliber.
Little died Wednesday, but the role he played will forever live on through those whose lives he's touched.
He's like a real-life superhero. I mean, the man was amazing. It's really indescribable.
As they work to fill the big shoes Little leaves behind.
I just hope I could be half the person he is.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Funeral arrangements are still in the works, but officers are expected to escort Little's body from Pikeville to Prestonsburg this morning. The positivity rate in the Commonwealth continues to decline. Governor Andy Beshear announced 2,305 new cases of COVID yesterday, increasing the statewide total to 721,895. There were 52 new deaths as well, bringing the death total to 9,262. One of the Kentuckians that was reported dead yesterday was as young as 38 years old. The positivity rate is now a little less than 8%. You can always find the latest COVID-19 information over at WYMT.com. Well, despite COVID-19 cases declining, protocols still remain in place in many Kentucky schools. Some parents in Estill County do not seem to agree with them. Members of the school board say they have seen an increase in abusive language from parents to school employees over COVID measures. Most threats have been limited to calls or emails, but at least one disruption took place in person.
basically misused the trust that an individual had with them to gain access to the building and then caused a scene at our high school.
School leaders are encouraging educators, if they feel they are being threatened, to hang up on the collar, ask the individual to leave the school or call police. The 2021 SOAR Summit came to a close yesterday in Corbin with top officials from across the Commonwealth sharing an optimistic vision for our region and beyond. Our Zach Hawk was there to hear how those visions could become reality.
Welcome to the 2021 SOAR Summit.
SOAR is a two-day conference where leaders from across eastern Kentucky gather and reflect on efforts to strengthen mountain communities.
We are starting to truly see the type of progress in eastern Kentucky we all dreamed of, and I believe there's a lot more to come.
The Appalachian Regional Commission, or ARC, is a federal agency committed to the development of the 13 states constituting Appalachia. ARC co-chair Gail Manchin says they are targeting communities hit hardest when the coal industry left.
Well, I think it's about new technology, but I think it's also about entrepreneurial jobs. How do we bring our little communities back?
Congressman Hal Rogers sees answering that question as essential to achieving SOAR's goal of revitalizing our towns.
The secret to our resilience in southern and eastern Kentucky is our sense of community, our neighborly love and dedication to our hometowns.
Co-chair Manchin believes federal dollars are on the way to help those towns through the Build Back Better plan, and that now is the time for investment.
If we don't try, if we don't reach out and try to really think bigger than we've ever thought before, shame on us, because we have an opportunity that we may never have again.
In Corbin, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
This was the first time the SOAR Summit was held in Corbin, and about 1,500 people attended, making it one of the biggest crowds they have ever had. Well, the need for reliable internet access is more important than ever here in Appalachia. Panelists at the SOAR Summit discussed the importance of implementing high-speed broadband throughout the region. One of the panelists, Shelley Hampton, says people should remain patient as there are many hands on the project as everyone is trying to work together.
County officials are not the experts on broadband, but they do know that they need it. And so they're reaching out to providers, trying to collaborate, working with other local governments in their region to try to get this ball rolling. So they've got until 2024 to obligate these federal dollars, and we know that several of them are working on broadband.
Now you can see our live coverage of yesterday's session on our website. While at the summit, Governor Andy Beshear commented on a $29 million grant to support crime victims. The grant is made possible through the Victims of Crime Act and awards 132 service providers across Kentucky who assist those people. Passed in 1984, the Victims of Crime Act established a fund that supports thousands of victim assistance programs yesterday.
We have always focused on the perpetrator of a crime, and that's important. You need to arrest, prosecute, and incarcerate violent criminals. But what we don't focus on enough is the victim, which I believe is the most important person involved in any crime.
The money will go towards care for victims as they recover from any physical or mental trauma. The winner of the third annual Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition made their pitch yesterday at the SOAR Summit. This year's winner was Walleye Solutions, owned and operated by Billy Brown. Brown says the idea for the business came about just 2.5 years ago. During a conversation, his wife wished there was a way to pass a wire through a wall so she could have a lamp plugged in between the wall to their living room and kitchen area. After unsuccessfully finding this, he came up with the concept for Walleye Port, and the rest was history.
Our units provide a fully tubed opening from one side of a wall or barrier to the other through an aesthetically pleasing tube with adjustable lengths and a variety of ID sizes.
Because Brown placed first place, he received a $7,000 grand prize. A massive tourism development will break ground next Tuesday in Pulaski County. Leaders at Horse Soldier Bourbon are building a $2 million facility that is expected to create 50 jobs. Horse Soldier Bourbon was founded by U.S. Special Forces veterans, the first troops to enter Afghanistan on horseback after the 9/11 attacks.
It's going to be really successful. It's going to be a huge driver for tourism. I can't wait to see what it adds to the region and all the people that come in and spend their dollars right here.
Now, the bourbon is currently distilled in Ohio, but the company will transfer all operations to Somerset when the development is complete.
Coming up on 6:11 on this Friday morning, we're taking a look at some patchy, dense fog as you head out the door. We're going to continue to watch that for just a little while, especially near the Kentucky and Tennessee and Virginia borders. Let's take a look at that visibility map, and you'll be able to see that there from Jonesville back toward Jacksboro, especially in that Cumberland Valley area. Just take it easy down that way. I-75 at Corbin, not too bad there in the overnight hours on the time lapse. Little cloud cover trying to roll in already. Temperatures from 63 to 69, and basically a lot of folks near the border from 63 to 66, so we're keeping an eye on that for you today. 82 this afternoon with some scattered chances for rain late. Sun and clouds for much of the day, more clouds at times than sun, but again, it's going to be a back and forth pattern like we've seen. Speaking of a back and forth pattern, a cold front is approaching. It's going to cool us way down. Early chances for rain will linger into your Saturday, and then after that, very much below average and fall-like as we head deeper into the forecast. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way when we return. Some new data shows another grim toll the pandemic took on people in the U.S. last year.